Hello all, Cynthia here, welcome back. What I'm showing you here is the inspiration piece that I'm going to be using for today's picture, today's layout, and I'm pointing out that the inspiration has some feathers on it and it's got some nice blues and some yellows, and the whole theme of the inspiration piece is sort of party and festive. I've grabbed that inspiration piece off the Crafty Maven Getaway channel, as they have put out a design team call, I guess that's what it is, and one of the requirements is to create a page based on one of their inspirations. So that's the one that I've chosen I'm going to go with. The photo here is of one of me and two of my friends. We went to a masquerade party very recently, and so I've pulled a picture of that, and I think this is a gorgeous photo of us girls, and it goes well with the inspiration piece because there's feathers and it's about colour and it's party, and there's the red and the blue, which is all in the inspiration piece. So I've pulled some paper packs from my stack and am just going through it here to choose my papers. So the first one that I pulled out, which is that floral with the black and white stripe, I've pulled that from a DCWV, I'm sure that stands for something, paper pack, and it's their watercolour pack, and it's absolutely gorgeous. There's the half gold foiled, and I absolutely love the colours. I think it's probably been my favourite paper pack that I've ever bought. It's just stunning. And then I've pulled some papers from some other places as well. So this piece here was from another paper pack, and I'm just going to use the bright festive colours to mount my photo on. And then I've also pulled this other paper, that watercolour splashy paper, from a pack that I brought from at our local $2 store. And the brand of that is the Craft Store, and it's specialty paper because they've got a slight sheen to them, and I think every now and then you'll see that being caught in the light. So I'm just going through seeing how I would like this to come together, and I really love this floral piece with the photo sort of nesting in among it. I love the bright bold colours, it goes quite well with the darker colours of the photo, but yet I want the photo to be mounted on this polka dots, which has all the same colours in it. It has the blues and the reddish tones and the yellows, but it also has a white border which helps make the photo pop a little bit. So I just sit that in there, and that's where it stays nestled in like that, but I do flip it over and end up this side. How's everyone been? You all been well? All managed to get a little bit of scrapping done, having a bit of fun? I'm making this page, and as I'm making this page, I'm just loving the way it's coming together. So I pulled out these feathers, the mask that I'm wearing on the night, and that's me on the left hand side with the black dress and the not so feathery mask on. But with my mask I just brought a cheap one once again from the $2 shop, and then I used my crafty skills to add some nice bling to it. So I've added a flower and some feathers on each side, and I think it looked quite nice. I quite liked it. So I thought, well, I should use the same flowers the same feathers on my page. So I'm just mounting the feathers here on some cardstock so I can move them around and they all stay still. I tried to use just tape gun because the hot glue gun's not really warmed up yet. But I'm impatient. I'm going to use it cold, and of course nothing sticks because it was too cold. So I pull all that back up and go again in a moment. I go and tapping my finger, waiting. Come on, gun, warm up. Pull them all up, and away I go. I stick them all back down. That way I can, as I said, I can just move them all around and keep them all together. Shuffle them around the page as we do. Try them here, try them there, try them everywhere. Do I come up to the spot that I finally like? Let's put them down, just trim it around, fluff them up, make them look fluffy and fancy. Decide I need another black feather in there. I decided that the blue that is on the right hand side of the page, I really like that blue, and I also wanted it to be on the left hand side as well, so I went and found the other sheet and just trimmed that little piece off and sticking it this side. Put down the black strip, and that black is gorgeous. I don't know if you can pick it up on the film, but down each side of the black is a gold foil as well, and it's got a beautiful touch to it. You can see it sort of shining in the light there. So part of the design team call is also to answer half a dozen questions about yourself and your crafting style. So I've decided that I would do that with a face-to-face video as well. So you should see that popping up on my channel soon. So I just talk a little bit about myself. I haven't done a face-to-face before, so that was a little bit nervous and took me a while. This a bit of a warning, the sound's not the greatest. Yeah, I just record on my phone and it's very quiet, so you either have to put some headphones on and turn the volume up, but I don't have a microphone or anything like that. It's okay when I do voiceovers because I have my headsets or my headphones that have a little mic in it, and I sort of hold that up to my mouth as I'm talking, so the sound of process videos is nice and clear. But the face-to-face one, it's quiet. So I pull out this paper pad and I end up fussy cutting out all the butterflies, and then I go back and fussy cut out some of the flowers and some of the birds as well. So I'd cut away from that for a couple of reasons. One is I don't think you need to see me fussy cutting out, and another, in the end, a notepad with a password was sat down in the filming area, so I've cut that out so you don't see the passwords. Absolutely, as I said a couple of times, I love this page. It's just me to a T. It's full of colour and vibrance, and it's got pretty flowers and butterflies and feathers. I put some sequins on there coming up. It's just everything I like. Don't get to do too many of these because I do have boys in this household. I'm the only girl, so it's nice to get some girl photos going and pull out all the pretty stuff. Pull out some thickers to go and see what I can use for my title. And I do want to use gold and blue, and I thought I would try to use some yellow as well. That background paper has some yellow in it, and there was some yellow in the inspiration piece, and I think it's just a nice bright colour that sort of pops out among some of the other darker colours. So I want to add a little bit more of that. And I fussy around with these two flowers that I cut out and finally find a spot. Oh, and I must say these feathers, Oh, I had little bits of feathers on my desk for days. I'm still finding it. It was a tad messy. Very fine, fluffy stuff that every now and then I'd pick something up and think, oh, it's out. Another piece seems to float out. So I pulled out these blue thickers. I quite like the font. I think they're a little bit fancy, so it worked quite well, and they're glittery, so that's lovely. And then I pull out these gold thickers to write the word fabulous. I shuffle the title around a little bit, but in the end I decided to put it down the bottom, and it snuggles in, the fabulous snuggles in on the top of fancy really nice. So don't use a ruler to line them up, I just sort of eyeball them the best I can. See how that goes. Let's see, look at that, fabulous, just fits in there lovely. Now I want to use an yellow end symbol, but the only ones I have were just a little bit too big, so I have a bit of a hunt through my stash to see what else I could possibly use instead. And I pull out these little tile stickers. They're black and they have a gold writing on them, and that looks quite nice. So it's just a little label just there, or sticker just there on the top of in the middle. I did pull out this one here, which is a part of the paper pad that I was using, but I've decided once again it was too big and it just didn't look quite right, so I stick with the little black one that I have there. Go back into the paper pad that I was using and pull out a couple of these word phrases, nice bright white with gold writing on them. I end up putting 2 down the bottom, but I think looking back at it now as I'm doing the voiceover, I might go back and see whether I can find another one just to sit up among the top cluster as well. It just looks a little bit not quite, just not balanced quite right. So that's how I leave them like that, and I think there probably should be one up at the top as well. What else? There's not a lot more that I do here. Oh yes, I get the sequence out and I scatter some sequences around to see what I could do there and put those on. Sorry, been distracted by what's coming up. Scatter them around, flick them on the page, and pretty much go with wherever they land. That will do. I use some gold sequence and can't remember what the other colour was. Yellow sequence. Would have liked to use some blue, but I didn't have any blue, so, well, not the right blue. I've got a really light colour blue, but not the darker blue. And that's pretty much it. I put these on. I do a tiny little bit of journaling down the bottom under that word phrase that says something about having fun forever, or forever having fun. I think that's what it says. And the one under the photo just says living life in colour, which I thought was quite appropriate for this particular layout. And that's pretty much it. I come back at the end and I point to the inspiration piece, showing you how it all comes together and where I've drawn the inspiration from. If you stuck with me this far, thank you very much. I really hope you like the page. I can tell you I absolutely love it. If you did like the page, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please ask them, and wish me luck for the design team. Talk to you next time. Bye.